So, tell me about yourself.
I'm Caleb Malik. I am a graduate student in the School of Communication. Went here for 4 years at ISU. Returned. Really love the faculty and love the program. They've educated me well and they continue to do so. Have an assistantship. I teach Com 110, basic speech course. Teaching my 4th course now, and I absolutely love it. Love teaching.
Very cool. So are you from Normal originally?
Yes, I am. Normal area. My mom taught at ISU for maybe 5-10 years. I lived in Tremont, maybe 45 minutes away at most, and she taught here, and then she works at the U of I now, but it's kind of, we were here a lot when I was a kid, and swam on the swim team here, so I was here maybe 4 or 5 nights a week growing up. So very much a townie without actually living in the community.
So you said without actually living in the community. What kind of perspective is that giving you as an outsider who's part of the community but doesn't necessarily live here?
I'm not... It's been interesting because I was kind of the outsider looking in, and then I've been here so long that I almost forget what it was like to not be an insider, to be honest. And the town's changed a lot since I moved here. The uptown area has changed a lot. The town has improved a lot since I was younger. So to be honest, I'm not really sure. There's been a lot of changes over the years. Mitsubishi used to be a big employer here, and now it's not so much anymore. It still is, but it's not. I don't know. I'm trying to think back to what it was like when I was a kid. Changes on campus. The rec center used to be maybe an open field. I'm not really sure what. Oh no, it used to be dorms. There used to be dorms there. And my mom used to teach in McCormick. It looks like nothing like it did when I was a kid. So I feel like the town has just gotten a lot nicer, and it's just changed a lot. I think it's going to continue.
All right, so tell me about your happiest moment in your life thus far.
Oh, happiest moment in my life thus far.
It's a hard one for people.
Yeah, it is. And I've thought about this before because the people of New York sort of project, and because I see that question. I would say probably getting accepted to graduate school. So I think there was a lot of uncertainty with what I was going to do with the rest of my life, and maybe not a happy moment. Maybe I guess a moment of relief is more like it, but at least I knew what I was going to be doing for the next 2 years, and that for me was very exciting. And I got to be here and kind of be with the faculty, who's in a lot of ways family to me, and this has been my community. So it was cool to be able to stay for another 2 years. I'm very excited about that.
Very cool. So you said that you were happy that you got in this program, you were kind of relieved. So are you where you thought you would be right now at this point in your life?
No, probably not. A few years back I thought I was going to go to med school. Worked really hard at doing that, thought that's where I was going to be, and then changed my mind kind of very last minute. So definitely not where I thought I was going to be, where I thought I was going to be working. This was in a lot of ways a very last minute decision to come to this program. I thought I would be living out of state, or at least out of Normal. So kind of ended up back here, but it's been for the best. I really love teaching, really love doing research. So if I'm not in the PhD program, it's going to be doing market research, or it's going to be doing teaching and development or something that's going to be in a corporate setting, because I love teaching and I love research.
Why do you love teaching?
I don't know. I like to see those aha moments, when people get it, and I like to see people progress. The difference between the work at the beginning of a semester for a student and the end of a semester. I'm very visual in results. I like to see how many words I've written when I write a paper. I like to see a finished product that I can touch and see. And I think in a lot of ways, when students turn in their work compared to the beginning to the end, you can actually see visually the work that's been done and the improvements that have been made. Some related to the work that I've put into it, and much more the work that they put into it, and the other faculty members and everything else. But it's really awesome to see them grow. Can you think of the best student aha moment for you that was this is why I'm doing what I'm doing? Let's see. Not a specific one. I think my favorite thing, because it's a natural thing to do, is you go in on the first day and you kind of maybe stereotype some people for what you think they're going to be like as a student, and then they totally prove you wrong. It's the guy who's a bro on the first day of class who you think is going to be too cool for school, and then he ends up being the best student in your class or whatever. That's the type of thing that I think I get a lot out of that.
Right. whenever you think of somebody that wants to teach, they want to give back, right? They want to give back, they want to help others, they want to impact something, right? What's that impact that you want to make?
I think that the biggest impact that I want to make for my students is helping them to, it's more like the general things. Like, I want them to become professionals and I want them to become adults. I think that's sometimes the hardest part of the job. It's not teaching them how to put together an outline for a speech. I mean, that's what we do, but it's teaching them to turn things in on time, how to use professional emails, a lot of those things, at least for the courses that I teach. As an entry-level freshman student, those are the type of things that you're teaching them, is, how do you interact in everyday life as a professional, because these are, for the most part, not going to be people who grow up to be public speakers as a primary thing that they're doing.
Tell me your saddest moment.
Oh man, saddest moment. I've been a pretty lucky guy. I don't have a lot of sad moments, to be honest. I'm pretty even keel. What's your happiest moment? I don't know. What's your saddest moment? I don't know.
Maybe it hasn't happened yet. That's totally possible.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had a rough breakup. I've lost a dog, as a kid. Those sort of things. I think it was pretty rough when I was in junior high. Parents lost their jobs for 6 months to a year, and there was a period where I thought that I was going to be forced to move to a new school, and that was very difficult for me. And they ended up not making that decision because they said, I guess there was a public speaker who came to the school and said it's important not to know who your kids' friends are, but who your kids' friends' parents are, because that's who's going to be influencing your children and helping them. And they said helping them make good or bad decisions. And they said we know our kids' friends' parents, and we know this community, so we're going to really make it work. So I lucked out, but I think that was a very tough time for me.
When has somebody in your life ever let you down?
I would say it's probably it was one of my family members. Not nuclear family, but peripheral family members who struggled with drug, alcohol abuse, and I was entering college when it kind of, maybe a year or two before I came to college actually, when it kind of came into the family consciousness. Everyone kind of knew about it, and only in the freshman year thought that things had changed, and they really hadn't. So that came to light later on. I think that was really disappointing.
How'd you work around that? What did that do? How did it change you?
I guess it made me just, being human, kind of stereotype people with drug and alcohol abuse issues that they don't change. That addicts are addicts. The cliche things that people say about those people, and didn't have a lot of trust in that individual. Didn't really change my perception of trust about people in general, but definitely for that person.
Do you still feel that way about somebody that's struggling with an addiction, like that they maybe cannot change?
I don't feel that way anymore. I feel like it's very difficult, though. I mean, It's an addiction, for a reason. So it's, I think that they can change. I just think it's a very difficult thing to do.
If I was to play this video for someone, right, and I've done all the editing work and, the videos get ready to go out, and I can only put in a snippet of our interview, just one piece of it, what would you like somebody that saw this video to know about you if you could only think of one quick thing? Could be a quote, anything.
Trying to think. What are we talking about? Maybe that bit. If what I'm giving back is for my students, and my expectations and all, all the things that I wanted for them to get back. Maybe that snippet there. What the students should know going into the workforce. Somebody's going to see this. The more people that can know that, the better, because it still amazes me the number of people who don't quite understand what the expectations are for that sort of thing.
So whenever I asked you that question, you answered it as a teacher, as something for your student, which is great. That shows your selflessness as an instructor, that you really do care about what you're doing.
So for me as an individual.
But I want to know about you. What would you want somebody watching this video to know about you?
Saddest moment, happiest moment. What else do we talk about?
As we talk about, it can be anything. What do you want people to know about you?
Oh man. I don't know. Pretty vanilla. I'm trying to think. Oh man. Something that I want people to know about me.
Yeah, if I could only say one thing about you, what would you want me to tell people?
I don't know. Maybe the part about the saddest part of my life. I mean, when I talked about my parents and having and stuff like that, just because I talked about. I think everybody has different struggles in their life, and I think that for me that was a pretty tough period. I think it affected a lot of the ways that I look at the world. So I think that's a big part of me, having parents who lost their jobs and going through a pretty tough period in the way that they. And I guess just to add on to that, if that's what I want people to know about, is that period in my life. I remember on my birthday getting my dad's old art supplies from when he was in college, and old pocket knives and stuff. And I didn't realize, I don't think at the time, but I realized later that the reason those were the things I received was because it was all they could give, but they were going to find something to give me for my birthday. The same period, my brother said that he knew there had to be a Santa Claus because he knew mom and dad couldn't have afforded the gifts that he was given that year for Christmas. So there must have been a Santa, right? I always had parents who loved me, I always had parents who supported me, and so I think that period was probably most influential in my life, the way I look at my family, the way I look at the world, because even people who have their PhD and their masters were able to be without jobs for up to a year. I think it's really impacted the way that I look at people, individuals who are struggling with homelessness, jobs, and that whole thing. Just that period of my life.